where you can see that eye. Once they get past 45 degrees, now right there is what I'd call 45 degrees, then they start getting off balance and getting their front end heavy. I don't want them past that. So if you look here, by the time they give you that eye, they're halfway there. So I don't want to have them any farther than give them their eye and then get their feet to follow in there. Okay? Alright, now be a star, okay? Be a star. Doesn't relate to moving his feet. See the pressure? As long as my hands are fixed on his neck, it doesn't matter what his feet are doing. He can turn, he can... See, and I can just grip like that and turn loose like that without moving my arms, because my hand is fixed on his mane there. There. See that little bump right there? That is where the cartilage starts over the bone. Every horse will have a bump there to some degree. After that bump, you're on cartilage out here. This bone comes down to a small point just at the top of the nostril, right? If you've ever looked at a skull. From here up, there is no cartilage, it's bone. So you have a different sensation above that knot than you do on the knot or below it. And you actually have a different sensation below that knot than you do on top of it. So I'll be on it or above it, but not down here below it. Okay, so now, how tight do we want it? Okay, so if we're halfway there, if this hackamore come halfway up his jaw, that's pretty good. It doesn't need to come, see the lower it is, the more slack you got. It doesn't need to hit him up here. But we don't want it so tight that there's no action, like that. Okay, so about like that. See, there's this much pre-signal before we actually make contact. And if you watch these horses, especially that horse, I don't want to have to pull on them here. Once things come tight, if it's going to be, instead of pulling harder there, I'd rather get a bump like that. So he doesn't learn to lay on that solid pressure. But really what I'm looking for, and this guy here will show you, is when that hackamore lifts off his chin, right there, that we get a response. Not pulling up there like that. That's the first signal, when that comes off the chin right there.
That's when you get feel,
That's
right?
the pre-signal. I told you once. Now touch him there, as I told you twice. And if I have to add any more pressure, then you got to be really careful you don't desensitize them. See, and that's where you pull harder, then they can pull harder. And so you don't give a steady pull on a hackamore, because then you're just giving them something to pull against. A snaffle bit, you can give a steady pull on a snaffle bit, you're inflicting more pain on the bars of their mouth. Way more pain than you are putting that hackamore, especially these soft hackamores, on their jaw.
So hackamore's more like a pulse than anything, right? Like bang. Okay. So they can't have nothing to lean on.
Yeah. If you want to get in an arm wrestling contest, they'll win.
Martin,
but they're also off balance when they're doing that, because they're doing this instead of, you know, following that feel around there like that. They should weigh like that right there, just real light. Yep.
the difference in diameter of the bazaar?
The difference in diameter, there is a balance of how much weight is ideal here. And if you had a 1-inch steel cable, steel rope, from here to that car over there, and it was just sagging down here on the ground, and a clothesline, just a little tiny cotton cord, and they're both sagging down here on the ground. How much weight, pressure would it take in this hand to pull that heavy steel cord up, and how much would it take for the light cord? Now, you're going to pull, say, 50 pounds to get this cable up. By the time you pull 50 pounds on that little cord, it's almost like a guitar string anyway. It's almost tight. Okay, so we don't want it so heavy that it's clunky. But see that feel right there? See that response? That's from the weight here. That's not from a direct pull. You know, if I just had a light cord there, then it might be all the slack out of it. Right there. Move his nose there. So, how many wraps you have here, how heavy that heel knot is, how heavy this rope is through here, all is a factor in that.
Mm-hmm.
This horse here, I started out, I think I might even have this hackamore on it, but it was too clunky, it was too sensitive to it, so I used this lighter rope and this shorter hackamore on him, and he just seemed better. So if it's too light, you don't get a good feel. If it's too heavy and clunky, you don't get a good feel. And like this guy, I thought one more weight, he'll like that. I didn't like the feel. It felt too clunky. He was too afraid of it. So I went to a little bit lighter. He felt better now. But these are both 5/8. The length is different. The weight of the McCarty is different, but they're the same diameter. This one's 10.5 inches. That one's probably at least 11.5 inches long. It's just a little bigger horse too. That makes a difference.
But the diameter over the nose is the same effect, really.
Yeah, I don't like them raised nose bands. Hold them out of the way. I'd rather have them fit like this, where they just fit. You have contact all the way around. It's all in the video. Oh, by the way, we have videos, don't we, Chiquita?
Yeah, you want me to get some?
Yeah, but I'm gonna